Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our reaction and review for Survivor 49,
Mhm.
episode 8. I think we can at least be happy with this, guys. We are a couple of episodes into the merge, and hey, this is not a perfect hour and a half of Survivor, but at least it's entertaining, right?
It's entertaining, but it's also very frustrating because it feels very obvious that production does not want Rizzo or Savannah to leave. Things have fallen into place for the two of them when it really should have been one of them leaving. And that didn't end up happening because of all these little things that got put into place by production. And now they're both still here when that shouldn't be a thing. And I think we all know it.
I'm going to get in a time machine here for a moment,
All
and
right. Okay. Beep, bop, 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 boop. We are in the
we
past.
are in Survivor Samoa, and oh my god, it's Russell Hantz. He's running towards us, and it looks like he just found another immunity idol. This is reminiscent in a way of Samoa, where Russell and his alliance, they were clearly on the wrong side of the numbers after the merge, and then just Russell magically found all of these idols. There have been years worth of tinfoil hat theories all about this.
Yeah.
Clearly, production, they knew Russell was a character. I definitely do think there's a little bit of that going on here. I mean, Savannah and Rizzo, they are two of the biggest personalities by far this season.
Absolutely. And they've been doing very well. And it felt very much to me the minute that it was like, oh, we're now in this situation where these two are really on the bottom of everything. One of them is definitely going to end up going at this point. How could they not? Jeff walks in, is like, we're going to break up into two teams. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is the way that he's going to be able to save both of them.
There's two different things happening here. Number one, everything you literally just outlined. Number two, if you guys remember last season around this point, it was very predictable, very dull. I do wonder if producer Jeff overcorrected a little bit and just thought, okay, if our players aren't going to create enough chaos, we just have to do it ourselves. And to that, Jeff, I say, Survivor is player dependent. You can't make assumptions about this season based on last season.
Yeah, and for me, it's way more exciting, and it would have been more exciting to see Rizzo and Savannah find a way to get out of this themselves. And I feel like they might have been able to. I mean, Rizzo's social game is really good. And I feel like that would have been more exciting. And if they go, and it's okay.
Well, we have so much more to say about this episode. Tribal Council, Rizzo, Savannah,
Yeah.
MC, a whole lot more. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Survivor 49 coverage here. We are gearing up for season 50, which hopefully is going to be epic. And we are also in the midst of covering The Amazing Race with its Big Brother cast. We're having a great time doing that.
And traders, it has been announced that it is coming January 8th, and we are going to be covering that here at the channel as well. So hit that subscribe button and help us get to 100,000
Yes.
subscribers. We are so close. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it has been a goal here for a long time. We really,
Yeah.
really appreciate your support.
Yes.
All right, so we've aired a lot of our frustrations with production, and all of those are very, very clear. Here's where I'm going to air a little bit of frustration towards some of the players past this twist,
Yeah.
because it's obvious that having these tribes split up, having Savannah ending up being able to potentially cast a vote, all of that stuff, it greatly helped Rizzo and Savannah. But at the same time, Rizzo and Savannah, they were only 2 potential votes out of 6. Like, these other players, they did still have a chance to make a move here.
How is Rizzo still here? Honestly, I don't really get it why they're not just taking the shot. Like, I understand that it was a bit more intimidating having Savannah have this advantage where she's rolling up in the boat and is like, hey, I have I have a vote tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here working, alongside Rizzo. That at that point you saw everybody's faces just drop. I think it wouldn't matter if she had a vote or not at that point. Just having her there was enough to just tip it all over, where at that point everyone's like, well, I guess we're not voting Rizzo. And the same, I was just like, well, why? Like,
Yeah.
why? She is just one vote. So how does this really change anything?
I believe there are 2 different ways we can collectively look at this. It's 1, everything Rizzo and Savannah did right, and 2, everything all the other players did wrong. I will start by giving Rizzo some flowers because he has won me over the past couple of weeks. Do I love his shtick? Not always, but I did really appreciate
At least he doesn't overdo it.
No, he didn't overdo it, especially in this episode. He had a really good philosophy after his alliance just was backstabbed at this past tribal. He went back, he went to work immediately, he didn't complain, he didn't pout, he was very, very friendly, and we're sort of seeing this is the social game that Rizzo is working with, and when he's able to make people like Jawan feel comfortable despite what happened, like that is a skill. Like he deserves credit for that.
Absolutely, he does. But where it all really starts to get mucked up is with Sophie, where she starts to come in and is like, you know what? I know that you guys are all setting it up so that Rizzo's going to throw a vote on me. However, if for whatever reason he plays that idol, that means I'm going home. She tells MC, you know what? I'm going to throw a vote on Jawan. And by the end of all of this, it gets back to Jawan. Everybody's like, you know what? It's all over now. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's afraid of everything. And Sophie's like, how could MC do such a thing? I'm like, Sophie, how could you do such a thing? Don't tell anyone, just do it and ask for forgiveness later. This is entirely your fault. Entirely.
It's 100%. Rizzo did nothing to make these people want to go after him further. And you and MC collectively just decided, you know what? We want to get out the shovels. We're in the mood to bury ourselves in this game for no apparent reason.
I think that I disagree. I think that MC made the absolute right move after everything that happened at the vote and using her idol. And Jawan was now like, hey man, I thought that I had proven to you that you had trust with me, and you do have trust with me, but now I'm not sure. You played this idol, so now I'm feeling a little bit like you don't trust me. Her taking this information that Sophie told her to go to him and be like, listen, this is what she just told me. I want you to know that after, I played that idol and, broke your trust a little bit, I want to rebuild that. And so I'm bringing you information. I thought that was exactly the right move, but all of it like turning the way that it did at that point where she's, talking to Sage and Sage is talking to Jawan. Everybody's all of a sudden it's spread all over town. It's entirely Sophie's fault. This is not MC's fault.
Okay, I will defend MC on this, is that, and I think we even talked about this last week, I thought her playing the idol on herself was 100% the right move.
Yes.
You don't know what anyone else is thinking at that point. It is just after the merge. Why take a chance here? And this is why sometimes my personal views on how to play Survivor don't always work, because you don't know how to gauge the players around you. The thing that just fundamentally shocked me the most in this episode is how there was somehow an offense made by MC playing this idol, that it's, oh, this means you don't trust me, where it's just like, she doesn't really have that much of a reason to. If I was playing in this game, I would totally understand MC doing that. I would not be upset. Yeah, would I be disappointed that she didn't have that idol to possibly play for me or play for an alliance later on? Sure, but we even see this, and we'll talk more about it with Christina later. It's just that there's always opportunities to go and find other idols. I was just surprised that that move was taken so personally.
I 100% agree. I was very surprised that Jawan took it as personally as he did. And that's why I think that MC, even though she is gone, she made the right move to try to build some trust by being like, I just heard this. I just heard this about you. I want to find a way to rebuild with you because I didn't know that this was going to cause a problem. And I don't want to cause a problem with you and me because I really trust you. This is how much I trust you. I was like, okay, this might actually work out because this is what Jawan needs.
All these people just took a trip on the Hot Mess Express. And yes, Sophie is the one who was conducting it. And it's all, okay, this is how crazy all of this is that I do understand if I'm Sophie with the IE that I'm sitting back and being like, well, I don't want to be option B for a vote. I more than understand that, but there's two different imperatives this Sophie needs to think about here. Number one, you just really need to work that much harder to ensure that, okay, Rizzo's not going to use his idol, but also you don't need to flip things entirely so that all of this ends up with you trying to get rid of somebody who is on your original Hina tribe. This just feels like if everyone had just sat back, taken a deep breath. We could have had a very different result here.
She just needed to not tell anybody about this. Like, I know she was probably trying to tell MC to do a bit of damage control so that when it all popped off, people weren't really surprised by it. And then all decided, oh, if it's gone to a tie and she didn't tell anybody, oh, okay, well, now we can't trust her. However, at that point, everybody's whispering and up and whatever. Just deal with it at that point. Like, maybe it'll never get to that point and you'll never really have to deal with it.
I just think there was still a way they could have come together at that tribal and gotten rid of Rizzo because
Yes.
it's clear he wasn't paranoid. It's
No.
obvious that he did not think that the votes were going to be coming his way. And once again, I don't agree with the way that Rizzo plays all the time, being as comfortable as he is with his
Yeah.
idol, but I do respect his confidence and his viewpoint of, you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm 10th place, 4th place, whatever. I'm not the winner. I'm trying to play in order to win. And that may benefit him well, because if he's projecting that sort of confidence, then maybe that does make people not want to vote against him at this point. Maybe they do feel like they can work with him and his idol, even though that is absolutely insane to say out loud.
It is so insane,
Yeah.
but I think him not playing that idol, exactly what he said he was not going to do to Jawan, to be like, hey, I trust you. I'm going to work through this with you. I'm not going to play this idol. I am with you. I think that this really shows Jawan that whether or not it's all true or not all true, it definitely was true for this tribal, that Jawan moving into the next episode is going to be feeling a lot more like, hey, he said that he was okay, that he trusted me. He had an idol. He didn't use it. We just saw what happened with
Yeah.
MC and how much he was upset and hurt by that break of trust, that now he's like, okay, so that is not the case here.
Okay, Jawan, we need you to step into our office here for a moment
Mhm.
here, because we need to have a little bit of a talk. It's great that you had Rizzo's trust this week,
Yes.
but you did still vote against his side of the numbers. I am very worried about you, because it just feels like you now are going to think things are hunky-dory, and I don't think that Rizzo and Savannah, that they play like that.
No, they don't. You know, it's just, I'm worried his days are numbered.
Yeah, it feels that way now. It's a really, really smart play by Rizzo to
Mhm.
just be comfortable, allow other people to not get too worried about him, and just let this other side completely implode. I
Mhm.
just am very, very bummed about MC, because I do like her. I don't think she did that much wrong. Like, you talked a good bit about this already. And personally, I would have rather her stayed over this Sophie, because it just feels like, to get back into production. Production does not like this Sophie. The only time we heard from this Sophie in this entire
No.
episode was after the immunity challenge, when we kind of had to. We never hear from her unless it's just like, well, we actually need her in this moment.
Okay, did anybody else out there feel like when MC got up and started whispering to Jawan that this was it? It was the move against Rizzo, because at this point he did feel really, really comfortable. Yes.
Yes.
I thought that she was going to him and was basically like, listen, this is our chance right now, because they had basically laid it out. Oh, it's MC
Yeah.
or it's Sophie. And these are the two choices. And you could see Rizzo over there feeling really good about himself.
Yeah.
For MC, yeah, I thought she was like, hey, listen, this is the time. We're going to get Rizzo right now. I'm going to pretend that I'm talking about Sophie right now.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go over to Rizzo and I'm going to say Sophie to him. And that way we can kind of all go about it. You go and talk to Sophie and tell her Rizzo. Let's get him. That's what I thought was happening.
The biggest mistake as a total outsider that I think Survivor players make is, instead of playing to win, they play to not lose on an individual episode. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people being like, okay, I just don't want to get voted out this time. And Rizzo, credit to him. He's trying to play in order to win. If he was just trying to survive,
Yeah.
he would have played this idol when he knew he didn't have the numbers on his side.
Yes.
Let's talk now about Savannah, because this was a really interesting up and down episode for her, where we had the whole thing between her and Sage, where Sage feels like she's being mean, but then we also get this softer side of Savannah as well, where we learn a little bit about what she's gone through.
This whole thing with Savannah and Sage, like, Savannah is right about that, where she's just like, I am not the person that's really controlling anything in this game.
Mhm.
Like, Sage is the person that has been controlling things in this game, having Shannon go out, having Nate go out.
Yeah.
Savannah's not doing any of this stuff. So at this point, she's just kind of like, why am I the target of all of this when you're the person that's actually running this game?
I do understand where Savannah is coming from. I get it that personality wise, it seems like she can be a little bit blunt. And I think some people, not to be about all the youngins out there, but I think there's a lot of young people who are not so blunt. And I think it can come across as abrasive. But I just think some of that comes down to one, everything Savannah talked about with her work experience and what she's gone through there. But she's also a reporter, right? When you're in a job like that, you have to press people, you have to try to get your thought process to
Yeah.
them. And so you're going to be a little bit more direct. I just
Yes.
appreciate her because she's different than almost any other player this season.
Man, that story made me feel so bad. I think that there's a lot of people, either to the same degree or a
Mhm.
lesser degree, at the workplace that feel like you're on the outs. I had a job like that where I felt like I was just, no matter what I did, I was just not in with the group. And
Mhm.
it can feel really isolating. But like some of the things she was saying, like, oh man, people felt that I got this job that I didn't deserve and someone else should have gotten it, to have them be nice when we're on camera and then be just a few feet away talking about me for 2 years.
Yeah.
She's also not wrong about that stress thing. Her talking about that really hit home for me because I am somebody who is very stressed. I worry about everything. I think myself to death every single night. I am that person. Anybody else out there thinking themselves to death? It sounds like she was going through a lot of this with a lot of the stress of having this happen at her work. Like that really takes a toll on your mental health, but also your physical health and your body. Absolutely.
It just made her to me a much more fleshed out person on the show. And I find watching her to be really, really compelling. And I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting. She did win this immunity challenge and this great old magical reward that came along with it.
And this great meal of go make your own sandwich. I was just, oh my God. Oh my God.
This is the season of I.E. Sophie and the fruit plate. Now you got to make your own sandwich bar. Good on Savannah, though, for not playing this advantage
Mhm.
because now she's got this extra vote.
Yeah.
Rizzo still has that idol. I know
Yes.
Sophie with the eye, she has this knowledge is power. And
Yeah.
depending on what ends up coming out there and the way information spreads, like it's very well possible that could be useful and those three could be set up really, really well.
I mean, Sophie and I may be able to just take that idol right off Christina at this point.
Okay, so Christina, number one, you need to make sure your alliance is good and buttoned up after this particular idol find.
And no kidding, especially since Alex is just like, now I have this information, might use it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Alex, take a chill pill. Yeah, here's the other real concern here is, who Alex was on his original tribe with, Sophie with an eye. So he might be thinking, especially after that Nate find side, oh, you
Yep.
know what? I need to reestablish some trust here. Him not knowing, of course, that one eye Sophie has this
Yep.
knowledge of power.
Yep.
Can we talk about the immunity idols for a moment this
Mhm.
season? I know it's been like this for a while, but I clocked it watching. This is the worst looking immunity idol I have ever seen. Like, this is one step above the old infamous Eliza blanking stick. It's just like a string with some stuff
I know, but
attached to
some
it.
beads.
Okay, here's the tinfoil hat on this.
Okay, all right.
Clearly, Probst, once again, he wants a lot of chaos. He was just thinking, let's make this immunity idol as boring and mundane as possible because they want a bunch of people to make fake idols. And my answer to that is, are you guys going to make it like this so that you don't even know what's real or what's fake anymore later on?
I know, but at the same time, I mean, where are you finding beads on the beach, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is a string with some beads. So unless you've like shown up there with beads in your hair, like, I don't know how you're making this.
No, I really don't know. I'm really glad that Christina found this. It gives her a little bit more agency in the game.
Yeah, which is nice because she does feel like somebody who's sort of on the bottom of a lot of this.
Yeah, and it's just I'm worried about her because it feels like she's been completely lost. She had that whole
Yeah.
scene at the very start of the season where she was very endearing, talking about getting out there and playing.
Yeah, Sophie's gonna just take that idol right off of her. I feel like it's all gonna spiral out. My tinfoil hat is Alex is gonna tell Sophie with an eye. Sophie is gonna take that idol, and that's gonna be the end of Christine.
Yeah, I think there's a really, really good chance of that. And there could end up being a steamroll with this three-person, Rizzo,
Yes.
Savannah, and One Eye Sophie because of that.
Yeah.
But if that happens this week, this feels like this is the real sliding doors week where we just go back, look at this, see that the odds were against Rizzo. You guys decided for whatever reason not to do it. And now they're just going to be armed with all this information, all this power, and
Yep.
then they can just kind of systematically take you out one by one.
Yeah.
They deserve a little bit of blame for this, but as you said at the start of this episode, production clearly just misses the memo on the fact that we're past the merge. This was already kind of a late merge. The whole point of this is to see everyone voting together.
Yeah. So as soon as they split them up, I was like, okay, they want to have a shot that they can at least keep one of them, if not the other. Savannah winning and then giving her this type of an advantage where it's like, not only do you get a vote to be able to go and help Rizzo if you want, we're going to place you over there. So even if you don't use that vote, that's absolutely going to intimidate everyone to maybe change their mind on Rizzo. Rizzo is social enough that he's able to, talk his way through this. And he did.
Yeah.
That it felt like too many production hands in here. Like, this wasn't what I was looking for with this. I was really happy to see Rizzo do his best with his social game.
Yeah.
That was great. But I still think he would have been able to get out of it without Savannah there. And I would have really liked to have seen that because that would have elevated him for me even more.
100%. And it's just a bummer that potentially people like Sage, who I think has played a really good game the past few weeks, or Juwan, may end up being penalized heavily because of just the way in which things were orchestrated here.
Absolutely.
But overall, I still like this episode despite its big flaws. I just think compared to the first several weeks of this season, we are moving in the right direction.
Yes, but production, need to get your hands out the pie. Like, I don't want to see your hands on the pie anymore this season. Just let everybody play.
Just let us eat the pie, please. I love pie. It's almost Thanksgiving.
It is almost Thanksgiving, but I don't want to make your own sandwich.
That is where we are with Survivor 49, episode 8. What did you guys think about this episode? Production nonsense. Who are you rooting for? Let us know in the comments. And of course, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
As we do reach that 100,000 goal we're so excited for.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.